Hello and welcome to another episode of Humans in 5.
We've talked a bit about the myth compared to the truth about different parts of women's bodies, including menstruation and orgasms. We've also talked about how complicated it is to find out exactly what influences the evolution of these features in humans.
Now, complexity doesn't stop different researchers from having a go, of course. Today, we're going to talk about another physical feature of human women that gets debated a fair bit when it comes to human evolutionary research.
One of the features that is quite unique amongst humans compared to our primate cousins, like gorillas and chimpanzees, is the presence and size of breasts. Female gorillas and chimpanzees have breasts, but they only become obvious when a female is pregnant or nursing their infant. For humans, breasts grow as part of the transition from childhood into young adulthood. They are a marker for puberty in women and are present whether a woman is pregnant, nursing, or none of the above.
We're still not entirely sure why human breasts come in the great ranges of sizes and shapes that they do, or why they're a key part of defining the change to adulthood for women. In terms of anatomy, most breast tissue is fat, which is used to store energy for women while they're breastfeeding. This has prompted a lot of researchers to suggest that the variety of breast sizes acts as an evolutionary signal, with bigger breasts signaling a greater amount of energy for breastfeeding and providing nourishment for growing infants.
Researchers from the University of Westminster and Newcastle University put together a study to test whether preferences for breast size might link to providing nourishment for infants. They collected data from two groups. One group was 266 men from Malaysia, coming from a range of economic backgrounds. The other group was 124 men from Britain, with about half of them who were hungry, and the other half who didn't feel like they needed a bite to eat.
The research team hypothesized that men coming from a more cash-strapped background and men who were hungry or lacking resources in an evolutionary sense would prefer larger breasts, since they indicate a woman's better provision for infants compared to ladies with smaller breasts. The results supported this hypothesis.
Whilst we can see how the research team constructed their study to test this hypothesis in a feasible project, this type of work has a few pitfalls. As always, collecting data on populations from two different countries isn't really representative of humanity as a whole. We know that there are even differences within one group of people from the same country when it comes to perspectives on beauty.
That's right. For example, living in a rural area compared to an urban area may have impacted the types of images of women and their breasts that men may have seen growing up, which could in turn impact their preferences on that front. It's really challenging to identify how and when in life these preferences are locked in for people.
And credit where credit is due. The authors do state in their research paper that the cultural influence on preferences for breast size is complex and real.
There's also the issue of how realistic it is to assume that breasts are seen today in the same way they were in our evolutionary past. For instance, in most communities in Britain and Malaysia, today women cover their breasts with clothing, including wearing bras, which our ancestors likely didn't do. Clothes and bras may change the appearance of breasts and may impact how they're judged by other people, making it doubly difficult to get an accurate read on what influences breast size preferences.
It should be said that the study of breast size and preference has found many different results. A 2016 study found that on average men from Namibia, Brazil, Cameroon and the Czech Republic preferred medium-sized breasts first and larger ones second. A 2018 psychology study found that the combination of body shape and breast size drove breast size preferences amongst men who were looking at Polish sex workers. And a study conducted this year found that hunger didn't have any influence on men's preferences for women's body shape overall.
These types of complex questions deserve detailed studies. It's not always possible to get fine-grained levels of detail in research, but it is possible to communicate just how many things we don't know about how culture and biology interact. We hope today's episode has given you an insight into how much of a handful this can be when it comes to breasts.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Humans in 5.
And don't forget to subscribe!